The United States is committed to the UN Declaration on Human Rights Defenders. The work of civil society, including human rights defenders such as VOIS Cyprus, to protect human rights and fundamental freedoms and support good governance is a critical safeguard against threats from autocratic regimes and backsliding democracies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome VOIS President Ashraf Salim.
These commitments, these rights, were officially enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights at the United Nations General Assembly on December 10, 1948. As a personal message, I will tell you this: no great community was built by staying silent.
In the first half of this year, VOIS recorded 21 human rights violations, including 14 related to unfair housing practices, 2 related to gender-based violence, and others including unsafe working conditions, access to health care, and police mistreatment. I'm told there are about 50 active VOIS members here today. I applaud your efforts, and let's give yourselves a round of applause.
To the question Magazi asked, last year I worked as well as the Patient Rights Association and a couple of doctors on a report addressing or trying to address some of the human rights challenges, specifically access to healthcare that international students face.
Okay, I'm not usually like this, but today, I'm emotionally, mentally, spiritually frustrated and angry about where we are. So my thoughts would go here and there, but I'll try to organize. You're very right. The pandemic, with the pandemic, domestic violence became an even bigger issue. It also became more difficult to deal with.
Human traffickers are targeting international students, and according to the hotline numbers implemented by Cyprus Turkish Bar Association for 1.5 years, we've seen 320 applications, and all of the applicants were almost foreigners. So we see that foreigners are targeted by human traffickers, and we see that international students are vulnerable. First, because of the fact that before coming to Cyprus, they rely on third parties.
The schools or the fees, or they don't have houses, they sleep in the streets, they are arrested, no one cares, they are put in prison, and they are deported. It's such a vicious cycle, and trafficking is at the root of all the problems, or the majority of the problems that international students are facing.
As an identity politics scholar, we have this concept of the in-group, out-group. So by the time people's they feel like their most basic needs are threatened, then they tend to congregate in groups, and what that means in practice is that anybody that does not fit that schema of what they understand the in-group to be defined as is an outsider, and therefore a threat to their ability to fulfill their most immediate needs. So within the context of what we're discussing here today, what that means in practice is, what happens then is, there's the use of language that denigrates outside groups, and this could be on any basis. It's not just even about race, it goes all the way into sexual orientation. Anyone that presents as different is not just different anymore. Different tends to equal bad. Why? Because different is perceived or interpreted as a threat to the self.